Hello. Today I want to talk to you about human communication. And psychology tells us that if you were to take a look at human communication, that only 7% of all communication has to do with words. Only 7%. Now I find that to be pretty intriguing because isn't that the way we communicate is through words? No. 38% of human communication has to do with tonality. The tone of a person's voice will tell you a whole lot more than the actual words themselves. Now, didn't you remember when your mom used your full name in a certain tone? For me, it was Cathy Jean Norman. And I knew that if I heard that tone, oh, I was in deep trouble. And 55% of communication has to do with physiology, body postures, facial expressions. I know I use a lot of facial expressions and hand gestures and breathing patterns. All of these things come together for full communication. However, in Unity we teach another form of communication which has to do with your energy. As you know, you can feel energy. How you emit energy has a lot to do with how your world is communicating back to you. Well, today I want to tell you two personal stories. And the first one began in the early 1990s, and it was on this particular day when I was so angry at this one particular person who I thought had betrayed me. And as I'm going over in my mind this story about how angry I was at this particular person, I'm driving out of Boulder to go to Vail, Colorado to do their church service for them. And as I'm driving, I get a speeding ticket. So now, not only am I angry at the person that I thought betrayed me, I'm also angry at myself for getting a speeding ticket. So here I am, a bundle of anger. And then I get to Vail, Colorado, and I get another speeding ticket. Well, by that time, as I get to the church and I'm doing my sermon, can you imagine the kind of sermon I must have given with that energy coming from me? I should have been paying them to even pay attention to what I had to say. Well, all in all, as I'm driving back to Boulder, Colorado, I get a third speeding ticket. Now, what are the odds that I would get 3 speeding tickets in one day? Well, the odds are the energy that I was emitting was not very good, and my world was mirroring back to me. It was mirroring back to me the energy that I was giving out. You see, our energy makes a big difference. Our energy is what we use to communicate with one another. My second story comes from a time when I was at a retreat. And it was at this retreat that I was studying the book. It was 1997, I believe it was, and I was studying a book called The 4 Agreements. I'm sure all of you remember the 4 Agreements. And so I chose to take the agreements and to really practice them, not to just read them, which, by the way, following any of the 4 agreements takes a lot of work. They take intentionality and persistence. And so as I was putting these agreements to practice in my life, what happened was the world around me replied in kind, meaning that the energy I was putting out came back to me in beautiful and wonderful ways. Gifts came back to me just out of the blue. Opportunities were being offered. Unexpected expressions of love from old friends and family were coming to me, and a profound awareness of my connection with God. Energetically, I was feeling quite blissful, and the energy that I was emitting was being mirrored back to me in wondrous ways. So yes, communication has everything to do with our personal energy. Therefore, beginning this coming Sunday, we're going to be starting a new series on that classic book, The 4 Agreements. Ultimately, the point of all 4 agreements is personal freedom. And it's good to stop for a moment and just let that phrase sink in for a moment and imagine Feel yourself in a state of true personal freedom. True personal freedom. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that's a feeling of pure bliss. And if we can emit an energy of pure bliss, I guarantee your world will respond to you in kind. And so with that, I invite you to come to church this Sunday. Thank you for listening to me today. God bless you and have a beautiful day.